Waverly North Jr. was born on August 3, 1951 and died on April 6, 2025, was an American actor. His career as a child actor began in the late 1950s with roles in 8 TV series, 2 variety shows, and 3 feature films. At age 7, he became a household name for his role as the good-natured but mischievous Dennis Mitchell on the CBS situation comedy Dennis the Menace, 1959 to 1963, based on the comic strip created by Hank Ketcham. Jay North was an American actor who had a net worth of $500,000 at the time of his death. Early life. North was born in Hollywood, the only child of Jay and Dorothy (née Cotton) North. North's father was an alcoholic, and his parents' marriage was turbulent. When he was 4, his parents separated, and North never saw his father again. He briefly resided in Birmingham, Alabama. His mother worked as the secretary to the West Coast director of the American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, AFTRA. From a young age, North was a fan of television. When he was 6, his mother used her connections at AFTRA to arrange for him to appear on his favorite television program, local Los Angeles children's show Cartoon Express, hosted by engineer Bill. Prominent Hollywood talent agent Hazel McMillan was impressed with the photogenic boy, contacting his mother the following day offering to represent him. His mother was aware of the stories of troubled former child stars and had reservations but eventually gave her approval. Personal life and death. On March 2, 1991, North married his second wife, Rosisha. The couple had met on a blind date and separated 3 months after their wedding. On April 14, 1992, he met caterer Cindy Hackney at a party after a charity event for pediatric AIDS in Gainesville, Florida. On March 3, 1993, they were married, and 3 months later, still financially well off as a result of his mother's investments of his earnings as a child star, North left Los Angeles and moved to Hackney's hometown of Lake Butler, Florida, becoming stepfather to her 3 daughters. This move was a permanent break from the Hollywood area that had troubled him. That year, with the release of the 1993 feature film Dennis the Menace, the media sought what had become of the original Dennis. This renewed interest prompted him to publicly disclose the abuse he had experienced as a child star. In May 1997, having come to terms with the physical and emotional abuse he had suffered at the hands of his aunt and uncle, North began attending memorabilia shows to meet with fans. After moving to Florida, he began working as a correctional officer, reportedly working with troubled youth within Florida's juvenile justice system and, as of 2011, continued to work for the Florida Department of Corrections. From the early 1990s, North made occasional appearances on talk shows, documentaries, cameo appearances as himself on The Simpsons, and in the comedy feature film Dickie Roberts, former child star. In 1999, he concluded his interview by saying, "I am so happy that I was able to have such a positive impact on people's lives. I'm going to write my autobiography and then I'm just going to live a contented, happy life here in Lake Butler with the people I love, and kind of just vanish into the mists of time." North died of colorectal cancer on April 6, 2025, aged 73. He had been battling the disease for several years. Career. Early years. North's first professional acting job was a live appearance on the game show Queen for a Day, hosted by Jack Bailey. He continued to work as a child model and actor in commercials, and landed small parts on a number of popular NBC variety shows of the 1950s, such as The George Gobel Show, The Eddie Fisher Show, and The Milton Berle Show, before auditioning for the role that made him a star. In June 1958, Columbia Pictures' television division Screen Gems was holding a nationwide search for a boy to play the title character in their television adaptation of the popular Dennis the Menace comic strip by Hank Ketcham, and 6-year-old North auditioned. After receiving news that his first audition had not gone well, agent Hazel McMillan pressed the studio to see him again. The studio agreed and was impressed with his second audition. After hundreds of other boys' auditions, North was asked back to screen test with Herbert Anderson, Gloria Henry, and Joseph Kearns. A pilot was filmed later that summer. The season passed, and North heard nothing more from Screen Gems, but continued to work, appearing in a Christmas-themed episode of the CBS Western series Wanted, Dead or Alive titled 8-Cent Reward. In the episode, he portrayed Laddie Stone, a young boy who pays bounty hunter Josh Randall, Steve McQueen, 8 cents to find Santa Claus. Over the next several months, North made television appearances on such shows as 77 Sunset Strip, Rescue 8, Cheyenne, Bronco, Cold Point 45, and Sugarfoot, and broke into feature films with roles in The Miracle of the Hills and The Big Operator. In early 1959, North was confirmed to play Dennis the Menace. In June of 1958, North auditioned for Columbia Pictures' upcoming show, Dennis the Menace. The studio had conducted a nationwide search for the title character, and J. North beat out hundreds of other boys to land the part. Dennis the Menace premiered on CBS in October of 1959 and was quickly a sensation with audiences. His mother helped manage her son's finances and hired business managers to invest his earnings from the show, which amounted to $500 per episode. She also continued working as her son became famous, and North has since been very vocal about how supportive his mother was throughout his time in the spotlight, verifying that she never lived off of his earnings. However, he has not spoken as highly of his aunt and uncle, who became his guardians on set while his mother was working. Though initially they had a good relationship, his aunt and uncle became increasingly controlling, and North was not allowed to socialize with the other cast members, and he was often required to isolate himself in his dressing room. North later divulged that his aunt would physically and verbally abuse him when he made mistakes on set. The pressure to be perfect, coupled with getting older, made North less excited about being the starring member of a hit television show. Ratings for the show also began to fall, and Dennis the Menace was canceled after its 4th season in 1963. Teen years. During his teen years, J. North faced significant challenges transitioning from child stardom. In late 1963, his mother enrolled him in prep school, but his part-time education while filming Dennis the Menace and limited social interaction made it difficult for him to adjust. Despite continuing to audition, North struggled to find work due to being typecast as Dennis Mitchell. In 1999, he reflected on this struggle, stating that casting directors still saw him as Dennis, which hindered his chances of landing diverse roles. In 1965, North landed the lead in Zebra in the Kitchen, a family comedy film where he played a boy who releases animals from the zoo to protest their living conditions. The following year, he starred in another family adventure film, Maya, filmed on location in India. In Maya, he played Terry Bowen, a boy who journeys through the Indian jungle with a Hindu boy and a sacred white elephant. North also made guest appearances on TV shows like The Man from UNCLE, The Lucy Show, My Three Sons, and Jericho. In 1967, NBC adapted Maya into a television series, with North reprising his role. Filmed again in India, the series elevated his teen idol status, with features in magazines like Tiger Beat and 16 magazine. However, despite its popularity among teens, the show struggled in ratings against competitors like The Jackie Gleason Show and The Dating Game, leading to its cancellation after 1 season. After returning from India, North resumed a normal high school life and graduated from Rexford Senior High School in Beverly Hills in 1969. That same year, he narrated the surf film The Fantastic Plastic Machine, marking the end of a significant chapter in his teen career. Adult years. After finishing his role on Maya, J. North transitioned to voice acting, providing voices for characters such as Prince Turhan, Arabian Nights, Terry Dexter, Here Comes the Grump, and a teenage Bam Bam Rubble, The Pebbles and Bam Bam Show. In 1971, he left Hollywood for Chicago to pursue stage acting, landing roles in productions like Norman, Is That You? And Butterflies Are Free. While performing, he met actress Kathleen Brooker, whom he married in 1973. The marriage ended in divorce less than a year later. In 1974, North starred in his final leading film role in The Teacher, a controversial R-rated coming-of-age thriller. Despite criticism of the film's adult themes, critics praised his performance. Hoping to revive his career, he continued acting classes but grew disillusioned. In 1977, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy but faced mistreatment due to his child star past. He was honorably discharged in 1979. North made brief returns to acting, including a cameo in Scout's Honor, 1980, and a short stint on General Hospital, 1982, but steady work remained elusive. Financially secure from real estate investments made with his childhood earnings, he stepped back from the spotlight and worked in the health food industry. He tried to reignite his career by optioning the book Burn Judy, Burn and expressing interest in darker, dramatic roles, but projects fell through. In 1986, he landed a minor role in the Yugoslavian film Divulji Veter and auditioned unsuccessfully to portray Ted Bundy in The Deliberate Stranger. He began screenwriting, focusing on crime stories, though none were completed. North later made appearances on talk shows and, in 1988, spoofed his own image in a satirical HBO sketch, portraying a grown-up, bitter Dennis the Menace. After acting. Hoaxes. On the morning of December 8, 1988, North was at the center of a widely reported hoax. His mother received the news that he had died in a doctor's office that morning. According to a story from United Press International, his body had been found at 12:35 that morning. The article quoted an alleged doctor, Robert Tobias, whom North actually had never met. Around this same time, he also dealt with several imposters. One man, who resembled North in his youth, rented limousines and attended Hollywood parties impersonating him. At the time, North told Knight Ridder News Agency, "I'm not on the party list. I'm not a hot item, so they don't know what I look like. I really haven't worked a lot in a long time." A minor consideration. On January 18, 1990, North received a phone call from Paul Peterson telling him that former child star Rusty Hamer from The Danny Thomas Show had died by suicide. Hamer's death was a turning point for North when childhood friends Peterson, Jeff Stone on The Donna Reed Show, and Jeannie Russell, Margaret Wade on Dennis the Menace, concerned with North's similarities, put him in contact with therapist Stan W. Ziegler, who specialized in troubled former child actors. North later joined Peterson's organization, a minor consideration, using his experiences to counsel child stars dealing with the same pressures and difficulties he had faced growing up.